The National Gallery of Canada Foundation supports the National Gallery of Canada's initiatives, obviously, very closely. And it also has a lens on national initiatives across the country. So through the National Gallery of Canada, we're deeply interested in initiatives that have national impact, that are as relevant from one side of the country to the other. So the Venice Biennale is a wonderful project in this context. I think the fact that both Canada and Italy have a deep association with this building makes it really unique within the Giardini, and possibly this is why we've had such an interesting project these past 5 years in tackling the restoration. The architects are of deep importance to the Italians. The building itself is of deep importance to Canada, as I've mentioned, politically, aesthetically, historically, and remains important today as a platform for artistic performance and engagement. This question of financial support is profound, because financial support is required to do the restoration of the building, but it's also required in order to provide a sustainable revenue stream that will be there every 2 years to support this program. No one has that kind of money in their operating budgets. So all of this funding had to be discovered anew. So with respect to the pavilion, we've been very fortunate, and we've had a Canadian philanthropist who has really been the backer for the entire project. Her name is Risa Greenberg. She's from Ottawa, and she's a very important member of the National Gallery's philanthropic family, very generous, deeply interested in contemporary art, deeply interested in architecture, and incredibly interested in architectural spaces as a platform for exhibitions, and how viewers navigate these spaces in understanding exhibitions. So really her interest in this project was perfectly aligned, and we're deeply grateful to her because she's really made this possible. The other element of the financial need for the project has been building what will be an endowment. And this endowment, which has already begun, again, with another series of very forward-thinking Canadian philanthropists, namely the Sobey family, Donald and Elizabeth Sobey family from Halifax, and the Kerner family, Michael and Sonia Kerner from Toronto. These families both contributed $2 million each to begin an endowment, which now sits at $4 million. And that endowment will grow. We're continuing to build that throughout Canada. And the yield from that endowment now generates a recurring, significant contribution to support the program. And of course, we also have a corporate stream of funding coming in. And very important to mention, the Canada Council has remained just a steadfast supporter of the Venice Biennale throughout, and they make a major contribution to the program as well. So between these funding streams, this is now becoming a recurring revenue stream that will always be present for the Canadian artistic representation, no matter where whoever organizes it. And this is all located at the National Gallery of Canada Foundation as a national initiative. This project is one that has, from the very beginning in the 1950s through to the present day, been a collaboration between Italy and Canada. So the respective embassies and ministries of foreign affairs have been engaged multiple times over the years. So a tremendous collaboration back at the time of the construction of the pavilion. And this time, during the restoration, again, what began as research on the ground and working with the local agencies such as La Biennale di Venezia and the Soprintendenza for Heritage in Venice, we also tapped in very actively to the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Italy, who waived the VAT, provided VAT exemption for us. The Canadian Embassy, who has been an absolutely tremendous collaborator all through this, based in Rome, and the Italian Embassy here in Ottawa, who has facilitated meetings with senior government officials in Italy, at multiple stages throughout the project. So bringing the required political attention to our need was essential in getting the necessary permissions, getting this to the level of senior attention that was essential to driving a restoration project forward. I think it's very interesting to see that commitment to a serious contemporary engagement internationally. And I've loved the way this dossier, as difficult as it has been, primarily because it's needed so much money, that we have all re-engaged with that sense of purpose again. And we have a small, very dedicated team that crosses multiple agencies in Canada and Italy that fully understand this all over again and are deeply committed to it. I think that's really, really interesting and really important.